I'm talking and you couldn't hear me. Maybe if I unmuted, that would help. All right, beautiful people. I hope that you got something, whether it was the travel portion of what we shared, given that we are BDM Travel. Welcome to our Thursday night BDM Travel conversation, or the transformation, and prayerfully you got something out of both. Let me go on and introduce our lead developer. I'm sure he's going to give us some transformational nuggets. And you know what I came on with, right? Came on with my pad and my pen so I can take some copious notes. I love when John shares transformational nuggets. So let's bring on John, and then he'll pitch it back to me, and we'll talk more about BDM travel. John, it is yours, my friend.
Well, thank you, Professor, and good evening, everyone. Welcome to our webinar. Tonight, we're unlocking a world of possibilities where dream vacations meet real income and helping others puts money in your pocket. Now, imagine standing on a white sand beach, feeling the ocean breeze, dining under the Eiffel Tower, or exploring the wonders of ancient cities, all while saving and earning money. Now, BDM Travel Club is more than just travel. It's a way to make honest money from sharing real everyday savings with neighbors and friends you care about. It's a way to turn your passion for adventure into a financial breakthrough by offering others a way to relax, get rid of stress, enjoy life more, and see the world. A way to help others experience luxury for less. And yes, for some, it has the potential of building a legacy of wealth. Legacy wealth doesn't come to the faint of heart, and it may or may not be your desire. But either way, you get to hang around a group of enthusiastic, motivated people. Doing that is always good for your own health. The cells of your body are nothing more than little balls of energy. And when they're in the presence of positive energy and other positive people, they thrive. Your health and immune system respond favorably to that kind of energy. You eventually become like the people you associate with. Want to be negative or depressed? Obviously not. So spend more time with healthy, vibrant people who have a zest for life and who are going somewhere. If you need more motivation in order to be the most you can be, then remove negativity from your life and hang around positive people. Where on earth will you find more positive people than on a cruise liner or an exotic vacation or right here on this webinar? So, excuse me, so get ready to fly because tonight you'll discover how you can travel smarter, earn bigger, and help others do the same. If you're ready to break free from limits, experience more, and live the life you were meant for, you're in the right place. So, who's ready to take off on this life changing journey? Let's go.
All right, all right, all right. Let's go, let's go, let's go. BDM Travel Club, your gateway to wealth and adventure. We are revolutionizing travel and income. So let's talk about BDM Travel. We know travel. If you would have asked this question to most folks, hey, what would you do if you had more money? You know, most people, their top one, two, or three items is likely going to be travel. I'd travel more. I would take more vacations. I would play golf more, you know, leisure, things of that nature. And that's what we're talking about here with BDM Travel, how you can travel the world like a king, like a queen for a pittance. Okay. All right. So who are we? We are a game-changing business model. Our travel partner, who we've linked arms with, has been 25 years in the travel and discount spaces. Okay. So while we will talk about travel, we're also going to talk about the potential of you saving tons of money right there in your local area, depending on what part of the world that you are in. So we're talking about everything from vacations to hotels to flights, where you could get up to 70% off of some of those vacations in those hotels. We're talking about, to the right of that, over 1 million hotel properties that you can get discounts on as you are traveling. What about cruises? I was in the other day looking at the cruises, and I saw, you know, get a cruise, get a second cruise at 50% off. Some of the cruises might be as much as 60% off. local discounts. All right. This tab here gets you access. There's over 2 million discounts, but that it doesn't end there because you've got movie theaters. You've got Take That Vacation. I'm going to show you how you could take a vacation. So let's say Vegas. All right. For like less than $35 a night. Less than $35 a night. And oh, by the way, no timeshare presentation or anything like that. Car rentals up to 50% off. Another discount directory. I love this one. I find some great coupons, restaurant coupons under the discount directory. All right. That was 1 million discounts there. Apartments and villas. Again, you want to travel like a king, like a queen. You want to stay in a grandiose spot. You know, that's one of the reasons why we showed some of those, that video of the gentleman and his significant other that travel the world for a living. Isn't that cool? Travel the world for a living. All right. And then theme parks. Okay. So now let's talk about airfare. I think it was back in 2002 was my first foray with a marketing company that had a travel-based product. Actually, we were going through the whole process of becoming a travel agent. And so we would have people booking, you know, we would send people our booking engine and they could book their flights, they could book their hotel stay, their villa and all that other good stuff. The challenge was back then we would say, hey, you're not going to save any money on air flights. All right. Well, you're not going to save a ton of money necessarily, but remember what Mama said. A penny saved is worth a penny earned. Penny saved is the penny earned. Okay. So if we save anything, that's going to be great. So you can see if you were, let's say, in the US and you were taking domestic flight, all right, you could save anywhere from $5 off economy, $10 premium economy, $25 on business or first class. Now, if you were traveling internationally, you may see even more savings. So you can see there from US to Europe, for instance, $25 off economy. Well, a lot of people that are traveling like that might actually be traveling with a group or with family members, spouse, significant others, so on and so forth. So even if you did economy to save $50, hey, you're saving $50. What if you did the premium, or what if you did the business or first class? All right, right there. If you were taking a European vacation and you were booking your European travel, and let's say you wanted to do, you know, first class because you want to travel like a king or a queen, okay? You would almost pay for your annual membership to BDM Travel Club just with that. Okay. Now, let's say you want a hotel stay. You know, so maybe you're going to go visit family, but there's not enough room at the inn where they are, so you decide you want to get a hotel or what have you. You simply would put in where you're going, how long you're going to stay for. Now, for a few years, I lived in the Orlando, Florida area. Absolutely loved it. I think my children really enjoyed it too because we had season tickets to a number of the parks there. So one weekend we would be at SeaWorld. The next weekend we might go down to Tampa and go to Busch Gardens. The next weekend Universal Studios. Next weekend it was the beach. So there's a special place in my heart for Orlando. So when I went here, I said, okay, you know, I haven't been to Orlando in a while. You know, if I wanted to, you know, go and take a weekend down to Orlando, what would that look like? So I wanted to look at a hotel stay. All right. Now, if I wanted to get for like a week, I would look more at like a condo rental or maybe a villa rental. But if I was only looking for a night or two, you know, I'd probably stay in a hotel. Now, I'm partial to Embassy Suites. Even when I'm traveling alone, I like Embassy Suites. I like the extra room. I like my free breakfast, all that good stuff. Okay. So I wanted to take a look at, well, what if I went to hotels.com? I wanted to compare what we have here at BDM Travel to any site that anyone could go to. Hotels.com is owned by Expedia. All right. Expedia also owns Hotwire. They also own Orbitz and a few others. Okay. So I looked at Embassy Suites, this first one here, by Hilton, Orlando, Lake Buena Vista South. I think that's actually in the township of Kissimmee, just south of Orlando. And so we're talking $192, the published price. And when you factor in the taxes and the fees, 218. Okay. Now I wanted to compare that, and I wanted an apples to apples comparison. So I did this a couple weeks ago. I probably should have put in a couple nights here, but I just put in one night, March 21st to March 22nd. Okay. Now let's take a look at our travel partner through BDM Travel. Okay. March 21st to March 22nd. All right. That's the same. Embassy Suites by Hilton, Orlando, Lake Buena Vista South. That's the same. And there you can see the address right there in Kissimmee, Florida. Okay, just south, very close to all of the major theme parks. Okay. Remember, hotels.com 218 when you factor in your taxes and your fees. What about our partner through BDM Travel? What about this? Including taxes and fees, 137. Folks, we're talking about over $80 a night in savings. If I took that trip and I booked that and I stayed there 2 nights, I would have saved more in just a 2-night stay than what my annual membership for BDM Travel would be. Now, we're going to get into the income side in a few moments, but here's what I want you to get right now, okay? The income model, and unfortunately in the make money online niche, the primary focus tends to be on the income model, and not enough attention is made to whatever the product or the service is. So here's really the litmus test. Can the product or the service that's being delivered by the company, in this case, BDM Travel, does it stand on its own merits? Does it stand on its own 2 feet, even if there was no income opportunity attached? That is a mark of a great product. And then if you attach a referral-based model to that, then that's the gravy, okay? And so what I want to do here is show you that the product on its own, if a person never told a soul about it and just became a product of the product, that is worth you being a customer of BDM Travel, having the BDM Travel portal. Now, let's talk about non-travel things, okay? Here's where there were a couple of tabs. One tab said 2 million local discounts. Another tab said 1 million discounts. This is where we get into things in your everyday life. You know, in your everyday life, you might go to the movies. In your everyday life, you may want to play golf. In your everyday life, you may be getting an oil change. Can we save money in your everyday life? You might go into a restaurant, local restaurant. Can we save money through BDM Travel? The answer to that is yes. So about 10 minutes from me, probably less than that, there is a Regal Theater. So I wanted to see, could I save money if I wanted to go to the movies? So a couple weeks back, I pulled up, the name of that theater is Regal White Oak. I pulled it up. I wanted to look at a non-matinee time, so I would have finished my business day, okay? And one ticket, all right, was $15.49. I would have thought Mufasa, the Lion King, would have been out of the theaters by now, but it was still showing, okay? I like the Lion King franchise. All right, $15.49. Excuse me. Now, if I go into BDM Travel and I click on, there's a movie section there. There's another couple of sections there where you can save money on movies. And so I did that. And since I know that the closest theater to me is Regal, I wanted to see if there was a discount by going through the BDM Travel back office. And I did that, okay? Well, I could get a ticket for $9.75. There's a little fee there, but that includes, that's inclusive there, $9.75. Well, wait a minute. I would have paid $15.49 just to go for myself. I would pay $9.75, and when I get up to the counter, maybe I see another movie, and I'll tell you what, I don't want to see Mufasa right now. Let me go see something else. I can. It doesn't matter as long as I'm doing it at Regal. Okay, all right, and it doesn't just have to be that Regal. All right, so $9.75. So then I thought, well, shoot, I could take my significant other out. We could go out on a movie date. She loves movies. She loves romantic comedies. I'm still trying to get there. Well, the two of us could go for just a little bit more than what I would have paid for a single ticket. I would have paid 15 and some change, almost $16 for a single ticket. Would have paid $19.50 inclusive of all the stuff, okay, for $19.50. All right. Let's go back down to Orlando. All right. I love me some Orlando. So let's go back down to Orlando. And let's say that, I decide I'm going to fly in, and so let me save a few bucks on my air flight, and maybe my significant other will go down and hang out in Orlando. So save a few bucks on the air flight. And maybe there's the hotel rooms, or maybe it's a vacation if we're taking a vacation. But if I do that, I'm definitely not going to want to cook. Okay. By the way, she's an amazing cook. She wouldn't want to cook if we were on vacation, right? So I looked at something that caught my fancy, and that was Olay's Kitchen and Barbecue, Caribbean barbecue. Now, let me apologize up front for my vegetarians and my vegans. I'm going to show you a bunch of meat here. All right. So I wanted to see, well, what I wanted to go directly to their site. So I was able to click on to a link, go directly to their site, see what type of food offerings they have, look at their menu. And so the first thing I saw was, some ribs here, some collard greens, some mac and cheese, some baked beans, some soul food. Okay. Okay. Then I went to the actual menu. Now, I like to call my significant other publicly. I refer to her as Dr. Baby. She recently got her doctorate, and she's my baby. Okay. Dr. Baby loves fish. So when I looked at this menu, I could already see her maybe ordering the catfish, or maybe ordering the whiting. Okay. Well, shoot, she might as well get the combination platter of two meats. So that's $27.99, $28. All right. Obviously, we've not factored in taxes. We're not factored in tip or anything like that, or drinks. Okay. I would probably, if I was going to Olay's, I would probably choose the barbecue ribs. All right. So that's $22 if I did the large, so I can eat and maybe take some with me. I probably wouldn't eat all of it, but have a little leftovers there. So that's at $50. All right. That's $50 just with that. Can I save some money? Can I save some money? Well, the answer to that is yes. Because one of the tabs, this is that tab that said a million discounts, deals and what have you. And in there is a tab where you can save a lot of money on various restaurants. Okay. A lot of these restaurants are going to be your restaurants that may not be just your big box restaurants. And I'm finding, especially when I travel, I don't want to eat at the big box restaurants. I can do that at home. I want to try something different, unique. All right. Well, check this out. With Olay's, I want you to see this first. For Olay's Kitchen and Barbecue, I could buy a $50 off deal for $20. It's like a Groupon in a sense. So for $20, I get a $50 off my meal. So net, because I did pay the $20 for the $50 coupon, net, I save $30. Net, I save $30. Well, that's all great in Orlando. So was it last weekend? I think it was last weekend. This past weekend, my son came to visit me, and he brought his significant other. It was my first time ever meeting her. So they came in on was it Friday night or Saturday night? Friday night or Saturday night? Saturday night. Okay. Well, we decided to stay in on Saturday, and just kind of get to know each other and in a nice intimate setting. So we actually ordered some pizza. So here was one of the pizzas there. That was the Hawaiian pizza. That was my choice there. And then there was the deluxe pizza, and then we got another bit pizza, Philly steak. That was so good. And then we got some garlic Parmesan wings. That was a lot better than what I was expecting. I was the barbecue wing guy, and I actually liked the garlic Parmesan even better. Okay, so my ticket came up to $100. All right, just over $100. But guess what? I was able to buy a $50 discount. You see that right there? Discount, discount. I was able to buy a $50 discount for $20. So net, I saved $30 on the meal because of BDM travel. Now, let me go on and tell you right now that your annual subscription for BDM travel isn't $499. It isn't $399. It isn't $299. Okay, it's just $149 a year. Just $149 a year. So with this one meal, I saved $30. And if you break down 149 on a monthly basis, we don't have a monthly subscription, but if you broke it down over 12 months, I only need to save like $13 a month to justify a $149 outlay. Well, this one restaurant, this one pizza meal, I saved net $30. So that's like 2 3/4 months worth of savings with just one. Just one. Now, Dr. Baby and I, we like to go out. All right. So she works hard during the week. I work hard during the weekend. We like to take, she's got two daughters, my two bonus daughters. I've got one daughter at home. We like to take our three daughters out. Okay. So I anticipate we'll be saving a lot of money as we go out, as we look to slowly blend the family. And then as Dr. Baby and I go out on our individual dates. Okay. These are real world savings. Okay. Let's talk travel again. So there's a tab that says take a vacation. And when I went back there, I was like, oh wow, this is so kick butt. There is a platform that I'm aware of in the travel space. They're also in the incentive space. So they promote to people like in sales. It could be insurance sales, real estate sales, car sales. They charge $99 a month for their platform. I think they charge a upfront fee. They're $99 a month. And then with their platform, you're able to give away vacation certificates as an incentive for people to do business with you. As a matter of fact, when I went back here, I said, oh, I could use this to build my BDM travel. I could give a vacation certificate to someone as an incentive for them to come to a live Zoom, or as an incentive for them to watch a recorded version of our content. Okay. Or I could take a vacation myself. So I hadn't been out to Vegas in a while. Dr. Baby was telling me that she's never been to Vegas. Okay, so Vegas might be a place that we want to go at some point. Okay, so I gave myself a coupon. All I had to do was put my name in it and an email address, and it emailed me this right here where I could redeem the vacation. All right, by clicking activate now. There's a little video that would walk someone through, so I could give someone a vacation, and I don't have to do any customer service because all I got to do is watch the video, and it tells them to go on and activate by paying only the taxes and the fees for the room. No timeshare presentation. Nobody's trying to sell anything. It's just that these hotels, these properties, typically they'll have some additional inventory, and they want to get people in the rooms. Now in Vegas, they want to get you in the room so that you'll also, a lot of them will have restaurants, you spend money at the restaurant. But what will you also do? I remember the first time I was out in Vegas, I wondered why the food was so cheap. We'd go to let's say maybe like a buffet, and it'd be a long line. Well, at that long line, you got some you know, slot machines and what have you. So they want you to come be a part of their property, you know, lose some money gambling, all that good stuff. How much was this vacation? It's a 4-day, 3 night. When you pay for the taxes and fees up front, you have 18 months to book your vacation. How much would it cost for 4 days and 3 nights? $99.72. Less than $34 a night to stay in a nice hotel in Vegas. Okay. And you can see, you could choose, well, maybe you wanted to go to Bangkok. Maybe you wanted to go to Cancun. Maybe you wanted to go to Dubai. Those were some of the destinations that were featured if you got here a little bit early before we started the sharing. Maybe you want to go to Mexico or Bali. Okay. All right. So now, whoops, I'm going the wrong way. All right. So now let's take a look at some other offers. So this is, I think this was under the one that said 2 million discounts. So this was, you know, I was doing Orlando, but you could do your own local area. There's 477 automotive discounts. Excuse me. There's 276 business and office discounts, 116 car rental, 9 condos and resorts. That's in addition to the other condos and resorts, okay? Cruises and tours, in addition to the other tab that just features cruises. Entertainment, recreation, golf, health and beauty, home, garden, movies, services. That movies is in addition to what I shared with you before. Shopping, ski, snowboard, travel. There's so much providing real world usage for BDM travel. You know, for those of us, you know, most of us, at least most of us in the US, probably have a vehicle or two. What are we supposed to do? Every few months, every few thousand miles, go and get the oil change. So I went and I said, okay, now this is in my local area here. Jiffy Lube, 2.2 miles from me, I would say 15% going to get my oil change. Heaven forbid, if I had a bigger automotive project like a transmission, heaven forbid, 10% savings. And given that transmissions can be multiple thousands of dollars, you know, that 10% savings could be multiple hundreds of dollars. Now, I'm going to get into the income opportunity in just a moment, okay? But what I'm hoping you're seeing, does the product stand on its own 2 feet, whether there is a compensation element to it or not? And the answer to that is a resounding yes. So again, vacations, hotels, flights, hotels again, cruises, local discounts, movie theaters. Take that vacation. That's was the one where you could give away those certificates or use a certificate yourself. Car rentals, discounts, directory. Okay. Now, so how does this work? Very simple. You're going to get back to the person that invited you to tonight's sharing. They're going to send you their referral link. You're going to purchase your membership. You can do that with either cryptocurrency. You could do that with a debit or a credit card. $149 a year, no more out of your pocket as relates to BDM travel, no monthly subscription. Now, obviously, in a year's time, you'll want to renew because you'll want to continue to get those types of savings. You're going to get access to exclusive travel discounts and everyday world discounts in your local area, depending on what part of the world that you live in. You'll be able to share this with others. And I will share with you, even if you don't think you're a recruiting guru, how this could be so impactful for you, okay? So you notice I took pics of the pizza that I got. I took pics of the receipt showing the $50 discount. What if every time I use BDM travel, whether it was for an oil change or whether it was for me going a luxury condominium stay, that one I would probably video that, right? Okay. But what if every time I did that, I just journaled it, I documented it, and I shared it, whether that was through Telegram or through email or through social media. And I simply said something like, hey, if you would like to take trips like this or save, $30, $40, $50 on your next meal, ask me how. You think if I did that enough, I'd get a few people saying, ask, hi, how do you do that? Okay. And do you think if I did that enough, not only would I get a few people wanting to save money on everyday spending and on travel, but a few people that would also want to build the business side. So let's talk about that for the next few moments, okay? Earnings potential, massive. Multiple streams of income, major six, and in time, perhaps even seven-figure income potential. And while it says 12 levels deep, you're going to see that with our model, there is an unlimited depth payout. So let me show you how that works. Let's take Roger here. Roger is not a recruiting guru, okay? He did refer Sue, so maybe Roger did the same. He saved some money. He loves to golf, and so maybe he saved some money on some golf outings. He saved some money on some real world things. Maybe took a vacation or what have you. Tell Sue. Now, Sue is more of a business builder, and Sue refers 6 people. In this example, she can refer 60. She can refer 600. There is no limit to the number of people that you can refer. Now, our model is a dynamic unilevel model. And the way it works is as you refer people personally, they would go with. All right, you can go infinity wide. Again, 6 or 600, doesn't matter, okay? Now, there is something that's very special about our unilevel in that there is a seed and harvest principle to it. So what happens is the first person that purchases BDM travel for you, you're going to get the commissions. The commissions are $80, okay, from the 149. All right. The second person that gets BDM travel for you from you, they're going to be coded to Roger. And what that means is Roger's going to get that commissioning. Okay. You're going to love that in a few moments because that's the seed part. Now we're going to talk about the harvest in just a moment. The third person, that goes to Sue. Fourth, those commissions go to Roger. The fifth and the sixth and beyond all go to Sue. So basically, Sue's going to benefit directly financially from the first, the third, the fifth, and beyond. So if Sue does refer 50, all right, she only planted a seed of 2. If Sue refers 500, she only planted a seed of 2. But now, let's talk about the seed that was planted. Let's first look at how this impacts Roger. And the reason this is important is this gives the average person, I like to call them Joe and Susie average, and I'm saying not only average from the standpoint that they're not big time business builders or what have you, at least perhaps they haven't been up to this point. Part of that could have been that maybe they weren't offering a product or service that really resonated with the marketplace. Given where we are with inflation, do you think people saving $10 here, $20 there, $30 there, maybe both multiple times a month in their local area, is that going to resonate? Yes, it does. Okay. So now those 2 and 4 that were planted as seeds, they're coded to Roger. And what that means is this person's 2 and 4, and this person's 2 and 4 to an unlimited depth, and that all would flow up to Roger. So Roger doesn't have to be the recruiting guru. And so the way this works, basically, this would be like this 2 and 4 here would be like Roger having a 2 by matrix. Many of you have heard of a matrix. This person here would start basically a 2 by matrix for Roger. This person here would start a 2 by matrix for Roger that goes to an unlimited depth. Doesn't stop at 8 levels, doesn't stop at 10 levels, doesn't stop at 12 levels. If there's 120 levels beneath, Roger would benefit from that. Okay, now that's powerful. That impacts Roger, even if Roger is not the grand poobah recruiter. Roger, in this example, referred Sue. That was it. The 2 and 4s and 2 and 4s came from Sue's efforts. And remember, every 2 and 4 basically is a 2-by matrix that you're getting paid on to an unlimited depth. Now, that's great for Roger, but it's better for Sue. Why? The first, the third, the fifth, and beyond. So if it's 50, if it's 500, those folks are all coded to Sue, which means their second and fourths are basically starting a 2-by matrix for Sue, and she gets paid to an unlimited depth. Number 3, when they did their 2 and 4, that's basically a 2-by-4 matrix for Sue that pays her to an unlimited depth. Number 5 to an unlimited depth. Number 6 to an unlimited depth. And if she has, 50, 75, 100, whatever that number happens to be, the 5th and beyond, the same thing happens, 2 and 4. So now what I want to do is I want to take you into the BDM Travel back office, and there is a calculator that you can play around with. It is so powerful. Now I may need to, let me, all right, good. All right, so you come into the BDM Travel Club. All right, so I'm in my training back office. I'm Sue Average here. Okay, so we come here to the income calculator, and what this does is it already fills in some information. It says, well, what if you referred 4 referrals? Now, the reason we want everyone that's going to build this business to refer at least 4 is that this allows us to maximize those 2 and 4s, 2 and 4s, 2 and 4s going up to someone. So if I refer 4, then I know that my second and fourth, if they refer, therefore, their 2 and 4s are going to go up. And so those are seed. Seed time harvest is an eternal principle. All right. The law of the harvest is an eternal principle. I want for my referrer, I want them to get a ton of 2 and 4s, 2 and 4s, 2 and 4s from my second and fourth, and their second and fourth, and their second and fourth, so on and so forth. Okay. Now, so we want our culture to be that for those of us who are going to build this as an income, let's get at least 4. You can get 5, 17, 170, but let's at least get 4. Now, if that happened through just 12 levels, not 120 levels, because it pays to an unlimited depth, look at what we could be talking about here. Now, the reality is, for that to happen, we're talking about a lot of folks. So maybe you don't get the full 655. Maybe you get half of it. Maybe you get a quarter of it. Maybe you get 10% of it. If I paid $149 for the year, I'm saving more than $149 for the year. And I make money, anything I make is gravy. So whether it is 655,000 or 300,000 or 200,000 or 20,000, that's gravy. Now, let's say I wanted to play around with this. We'll keep everybody else referring at 4, but let's say we did 5. Okay. Let's say that we did 5, and I think it automatically changes. Yeah, automatically changes that from 665 to 982,000. Let's call it a cool million here. Once again, maybe we don't get everybody getting 4, getting 4, getting 4, getting 4. That's a perfect world scenario. We know the world's not perfect. But where I could have made almost $1 million here, what if I made a quarter of that, $250,000? So not everybody got the 4, got 4, got 4, got 4, okay? Because I don't get to dictate what other people are going to do. I can dictate what I'm going to do. So I'm going to say, no. I know 10 people that want to save money. I know 10 people that want to travel. I got pitched today, and I don't know what the what the price points are. But I got pitched today from someone that I love dearly. I've been in business with them over the years. I've known them for over 20 years. And they actually have a Zoom going on right now about their travel deal. I think their travel deal is basically a down payment, an upfront fee, and a monthly subscription. And I don't know if the monthly subscription is $49 a month or $79 a month or $99 a month, but I'm pretty sure there's a monthly subscription. Okay. No monthly subscription here. So let's say I referred 10, and then those 10 referred 4, referred 4, referred 4. Okay. Well, now there's the potential of 2.6 million. And once again, I know this is a large number of people, and I don't get to dictate what everybody else is going to do. But if there is the potential there with me referring 10 and wanting to build a culture within my team of everyone referring 4, if there's the potential of 2.6 million and I just got 10% of that, am I cool with making $250,000 on top of saving money when I go on a date, saving money when I go and book some travel, saving money when I go get my car maintained or car rental? Am I okay with that? You better believe it. And remember, that's not a one-time outlay. It's an annual outlay. So this is why we really want to emphasize being a product of the product. Because if we're product of the product, in other words, every time I'm going to go out and spend money, if I take a quick look into BDM travel, can I save some money? And I start saving money, I get used to saving money. Chances are when my renewal is up, I'm going to renew. Why? Because I want to save the money. And I'd like to make the money also. So folks, I've shown you how you could potentially, maybe, perhaps, all my disclaimers, generate major income, whether it was into the millions or a percentage of that or what have you. Hopefully what you got well before we got to that point was the product stands on its own. Let me begin to finish here. What I just shared with you was just one small component of everything we have to offer. BDM Travel was birthed by her mom, Our Billion-Dollar Mission, OBDM. That same structure that I just showed you, that dynamic unilevel, OBDM has that also. But it also has 2 totally separate compensation models. And in those models, 80% is paid out. The difference is with those models, 3 models now, there are packages that range as little as $10 all the way up to 20,000. So there are 3 different models that have packages from 10 to 20,000. Now, I'm looking at BDM Travel as a gateway. Let me present a product, a service that allows the average person to save money, depending on what part of the world they're in, save a lot of money locally, much more than what their annual outlay would be. Let me have a product or service that also has a compensation plan where people could make huge sums, thousands, tens of thousands, 6 figures, 7 figures. But I'm using that as a gateway, because if I get you saving money, I know that you're more likely to hear the rest of my marketing message. If I get you making money, I know you're more likely to listen to the rest of my marketing message. Well, what's the rest of the marketing message? Hey, if you like that comp model, all right, that I just shared with you, in OBDM, you got a comp model, that same model, that goes from $10 outlay to as much as $20,000 outlay, and a whole bunch of packages in between. And you got 2 other compensation models that we haven't even discussed. So when you put all of that together, folks, we're talking about the potential, the maybe, the perhaps, all my disclaimers, of real significant life-changing, perhaps even generationally changing revenue. Okay, so what do? Get back to the person who referred you to tonight's conversation. 149 is your outlay. You can do that with cryptocurrency. Believe USDT on the Polygon network. There might be some other cryptocurrencies that you can use as well. You can even do that with a credit card or a debit card. There's massive demands for travel deals. Work from anywhere, be your own boss, get paid to help others travel and save money in their local areas. And there's no cap on your earnings. Everyone else, definitely get back to the person that invited you. If you are a guest here, get into BDM Travel. Go and see all the discounts that are available to you. In terms of our Zooms, our next scheduled Zoom is going to be this coming Sunday night, one of my favorite times of the week. That Zoom will focus on transformation. There might be a little blurb about travel, but by and large, it's going to talk about how we can be better, do better, okay? How we can transform and become better versions of ourselves. That will be on this coming Sunday at 8 p.m. New York as well. We'll start that Zoom off at 7:45-ish New York time. So we look forward to seeing you on that Zoom. With that being said, we love each and every one of you. Let's travel and transform this world together. Good night, everyone.